When a woman understands who she is as a queen, she settles for nothing less than her king. If she can't find her king, she would rather do life, living out of purpose, reaching her goals, and setting things up for the next generations to come, rather than settling for something less than she deserves. R.C. Blake. 3 years ago, I was sitting in my rocking chair over there with my 4-week-old baby in my arms, tears coming down my face, trying to cry silently so I didn't wake her up. And I was speaking to God, asking him why he had allowed for me to become a single mom. Like, what had I done for me to deserve this? And I remember I was on maternity leave at the time, and I'd sent an email to my manager a few days before that telling her that I was resigning. Yes, I wanted to be a present mom. Yes, I didn't want to go back to that hustle culture environment. But the real reason why I resigned is because I couldn't afford to put my daughter into childcare. I was broke, I didn't have any savings, I was in debt, so I had no choice but to resign so I could look after my daughter. And as I'm sitting there, I'm crying and I'm praying to God, asking him for strength to see me through this difficult situation. I don't know what it is, but something tells me to go on YouTube. So I go on YouTube, and the first video that's at the top of my recommended page is The Mindset of a True Queen by R.C. Blake. And I click on that video. It was an hour-long video. I'm watching this video and I'm crying even more. I'm talking boo-hoo crying, but this time it's not from a place of pain. It's not from a place of fear, but it's because I know that God heard me and he answered my prayers, and there was a message that I had to receive from this video. And I watched that video religiously when I was doing my chores, when I was going to bed, when I was putting my daughter down for a nap, cleaning, all day, every day, until that message was imprinted on my heart, and I was now able to put that message into action to live out my purpose, reach my goals, set things up for the next generation without settling for anything less than I knew that I deserved. And that's how I was able to reprogram my life with a queen mindset. The biggest lesson by far that I learned from R.C. Blake's, not just from that one video, but all the other videos on his channel that I binge watched, was I wasn't broken because of my situation, but my brokenness put me in that situation. I was insecure, I had low self-worth, I didn't know what my value was, I didn't really know who I was. I so deeply yearned to be loved and accepted by men that when they say jump, I would say how high. But contrary to that, if you were to ask myself or anyone who knew me back then, they'll tell you that I was self-assured, that I was confident, that I was a no-nonsense kind of girl and I wouldn't put up with any BS. All the while, I had daddy issues, I had abandonment issues, and I had insecurities from here to Timbuktu. A lot of the times you feel like you know yourself, but you'll either have a misconception of your identity, or you're putting up a facade of who you actually want to be or who you think you are, that you yourself start believing that that is your true identity. Best way to know who you are is not when you're at your best, your hair's done, you look good, you feel good, you're living your best life. It's when you're behind closed doors, when you're alone with your own thoughts, during conflict, when things go wrong, when you fail in a relationship, how you communicate what you want, your needs, how you communicate when you're not happy about something, how you show up for somebody else, and what you do or don't do when somebody shows you that they're not the right person for you. Because your behavior is a direct correlation to your mindset. You might think and you might feel that you're that girl, but is that evident in how you live your life? Having a queen mindset is doing the ugly work to understand your behavior of why you react that way in certain situations, why you always end up in certain situations, why you don't follow through, why you're always failing, why you feel like you're stuck and you're not going anywhere. Get into the deep root cause of your behavior. Yes, can be ugly, but it's so empowering, because once you know the problem and the reason behind the problem, now you can find a solution. But I need you to hear me when I say this. It is not easy. It is a journey. And that's why people say ignorance is bliss, because just because you now know the problem and the reason behind the problem, it doesn't mean that you're going to put in the work for you to fix it, or that is going to happen overnight. I have been on this journey for the last 3 years, and there's times where I feel that I'm healed and all is well, and something happens that brings me crashing back down, but I'm able to pick myself back up because I understand that it is a journey. Life is not a steady incline. It is like a staircase. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. The next thing that you want to do to have a queen mindset is something that I like to call only child syndrome. Now, you would assume that this would come naturally to me as an only child, but my selfish tendencies tended to be things that were quite external, like time, money, and tangible things. I'll give you an example. I was in a relationship with a guy, and in the beginning I would do anything for him. I would lend him money, pay for hotels, go 50-50, and I would also do everything that he asked for me so he could see my value, so he could love me, and so he would not leave me. But as the relationship progressed, he started complaining that I wasn't showing up for him anymore. And I'm not talking about the financial side of things. So I would say that I was going to be better, I was going to work on things, and then would have another argument, I would say the same things. It was kind of like a vicious, toxic cycle. And I started reflecting on, why wasn't I just doing these things that I knew I could do, that I did previously? And the truth was, I didn't want to. I did those things to make him happy, so he would love me. And when we would argue about it, I would say, yes, I'm going to do these things because I didn't want him to leave me. But deep down, I knew that he had never, or he didn't want to, or maybe he wasn't even able to show up for me in the way that I needed. We were misaligned, and I ignored all of them because I just put his needs first because of my need for acceptance and love. But when you have the only child syndrome, you enter your selfish era where you put yourself first, where you love yourself first without waiting for somebody to pour into you, without waiting for somebody to validate you and tell you that you're worthy or tell you that you're enough. Being selfish means that you have boundaries. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you're not just going to do something just because you want to make somebody else happy. You're able to say no without the fear of somebody rejecting you or leaving you. And if they choose to leave, or if they decide that you're not their person, you are more than okay with the idea of being by yourself, because you're able to fill your own cup, you're able to love yourself, you know your value, you know your worth, you know what you bring to the table. And anybody affirming you, encouraging you, loving you is an addition to what you already have. It's affirmation to what you already know. The next thing that you want to do to have a queen mindset is to create a masculine structure for yourself. What do I mean by this? Well, one of the most important things that we look for in a man is financial security, to make us feel safe and protected. So does he earn enough to be able to look after you and your family? Is he good with finances? Does he save? Does he budget? If something was to go wrong, would he be able to take charge and lead, and everything would be okay? Now, what a woman with a queen mindset does is you create that for yourself. Do you earn enough? Are you good with finances? Do you save, and do you budget? That if something was to happen, you will be able to take control of that situation and everything would be okay. Essentially, this means increasing your income so you're comfortable. And I spoke about how to level up your finances in a separate video. I will link it somewhere here so you can check that out. But one of the reasons why some women end up performing for men is because those men have financial security which they need, so they'll put up with the bare minimum minimum. They will do anything that they want them to do. Another reason why women are not living the life that they want is they think that they just have to rest in their femininity and not do anything, waiting for a man to provide them that financial security. Which is why I get so upset at these femininity gurus who are preaching this message. But true femininity is being able to harmonize your masculine and feminine energy to create sustainable success, whatever success means to you. And I teach this in Monetize Her, which is money mastery for womenpreneurs and content creators who want to build an online audience and increase their income with ease. The details are always in the description box if you're interested. The next thing that you want to do to have a queen mindset is to live out your purpose. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody has a purpose in life. Have you ever met somebody who completely loves their job? When they're talking about it, their face lights up, they're so happy, they enjoy going to work, they know what they're doing, they're good at it, and you're just looking at them like, sis, I hate my job. My job is just a way for me to make some money. But the reason why they love their job is because they're walking within their purpose. Your purpose is essentially something that you love, something that you're passionate about, something that you're good at, something that's going to make you money, and something that the world needs. When I was working, I was good at my job. If I do say so myself, I knew what I was doing. I was meeting my KPIs, but I didn't love my job. So when I was sitting in my rocking chair with my baby in my arms crying, it was because I didn't know how I was going to be making any money. I didn't know how I was going to be able to survive. Not because I had resigned and I didn't have a job anymore, because I didn't love my job. I didn't hate my job, but I didn't love it. It didn't light me up. Compared to now, even though it has its challenges, but I love being a womanpreneur. I love being a content creator. I look forward to having coaching calls. I look forward to improving my structures and systems. I look forward to filming and just helping people in my own way. Even though I used to help people in my previous jobs, that's not the way that I wanted to do it. Now I do it the way that I want to in my own time. I'm still happy. I'm still fulfilled because I'm walking in my purpose. The next thing you want to do to have a queen mindset is to be particular about your circle. I call myself a popular loner, not because I don't know how to make friends, but because I choose to have quality over quantity. I chose to distance myself away from people who no longer aligned with me. I am okay with not being popular and having a large group of friends because I understand how powerful energy is. People's energy is contagious. So if somebody has negative energy, toxic energy, or energy that doesn't align with you, that will rub off on you. That will impact the way that you think, the way that you feel, and ultimately how you act. We assume that only influencers have the power to influence us to do something, but the people we choose to have around us have the most amount of influence on us. So it took me a while to realize that if you're not careful, you're going to be swayed in this direction with people's opinions, thoughts, and most importantly, energy. A woman with a queen mindset has discernment to analyze somebody's energy. How does somebody make you feel when you're around them? How does somebody make you feel when you talk to them about your deepest, darkest? How does somebody make you feel when you confide in them about your goals and your dreams? That energy that you feel is what you use to decipher if this is a quality person, if this is a person that you want around in your close circle. Listen, I might be a single mom, I might not be where I want to be, but I'm truly content with where I am, and I'm putting in the work to reach my goals so I can get to where I want to be. That is what having a queen mindset is all about. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, and I will see you in an upcoming video. Mwah. Bye, lovelies.